weekly, monthly, yearly. We face challenges. Some may be smaller than others, but we do face them. So I want to leave a few questions with you to just self-assess. Sit in your own quiet space. Talk with yourself. Ask yourself some questions. And when you ask yourself these questions, if you're able to answer them honestly, these will help you to start making the small steps starting today. And one of the first question I would say, what might I learn from what is happening? Sometimes you have to even call your own name. What can I learn from what is happening to me now? And if you sit long enough, I'm going to let you know that you're going to get that answer. If you roll that question around in your mind long enough, you're going to get that answer. And I want you to also ask, what's not working? We have a famous quote that says, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Sometimes it's something that is not working that is causing the failure. Ask yourself, what's not working? Because when you think about it, you will start to assess the different things that I'm doing, maybe step by step, and you start looking deeper, what's not working. When I used to work in banking, we had this thing that we call gut feeling. And let me tell you something, gut feeling was correct at least 90 plus percent of the time. It's what we call intuition. Ask yourself, what's my intuition telling me? What's my gut feeling telling me? Because sometimes we are on a route and that route is failure after failure after failure after failure. Listen to that gut feeling. Is that gut feeling saying change direction, pivot, pause? That gut feeling is going to tell you something. If you listen long enough, you're going to hear what it's saying. And the final questions, I have many questions that I would say, but the final one I want to tell you to sit with. How might this challenge be a new opportunity for me? How might this failure become a new opportunity for me? I want you to sit with those questions. What might I learn? What can I learn from this? What is my gut feeling or my intuition telling me? And then what's not working? Sit with those questions, because when you do, you're going to find that those questions are going to lead you to making the first small step. First small step is something is not working. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to start document what's not working. If my gut feeling is telling me something, I'm going to make a note of that. So those are my points that I would like to add there, Dr. Howell. What would you add to the question that I've posed earlier? What small steps can they take to start now to regain
that answers perfection. I can't improve on that. I'm just going to make three little continuations to what you already said. You talked about don't talk negatively to yourself. A lot of times when we fail, we beat ourselves up. We have to forgive ourselves, and you mentioned that. Mm-hmm. We have to be mindful of the fact that those people in the Bible that were considered closest to God's heart were mega failures. If you look at David and the stuff that he did, he killed a whole man just to get his wife. You know, and then you look at, we had disciples, look at all of them ran away when Jesus got arrested. They lied and the cock crowed and all that stuff. They were negative after being with Jesus for 3 years. But look how their story ended. A lot of times we get stuck in what happened and we don't want to move forward. We wallow in it and we feel like we are not supposed to fail. And then when we look at Jesus, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and this was the creator of the world. And he said, this cup is too much for me, but it is not my will, but your will be done. In other words, this is a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go any further, mm-hmm. but you put me here, so I'm trusting that there's something for me to learn and something for me to do. We were all born with a specific purpose. So if we believe that we are here for a reason, so what gives us the right to just give up? That's the first thing I want to say. So what we need to do is to meditate. What we need to do is contemplate on those things that we're grateful for, all of the positives that we have achieved. What we need to do is to find ways to get up, distract ourselves, and then get back to it. Because sometimes you just need to get up, walk away. Sometimes you need to get up and go meditate. Sometimes you need to get up, go exercise. Sometimes you need to get up and go read a book or something that will get your mind off of it so that your creative juices can get back to flow. The scientists say that we lose creativity when we increase our cortisol, and cortisol is that stress hormone. So sometimes we need to just get up, do something fun, lower those levels, and then get back to it. The second thing we need to do is to have those SMART goals. We need to have goals that are very specific. Was I specific enough in what I was trying to solve? And then is what I'm trying to achieve measurable enough? Do I know when I get to my destination? Is it achievable based on the information, resources, and abilities that I have? Is it relevant to what I'm trying to do in life and where I'm trying to go in life? And last but not least, is it time bound? Am I giving myself micro goals so that I can say, okay, by tomorrow I will have this, by the next day I will have this? Or am I having a goal that is so large that it seems insurmountable? So SMART goals are very important because it keeps us in a small time-bound frame that sets us up more for success and not failure. And last but not least, and I've echoed this several times, we need to have coaches, mentors, and people in our inner circle that can keep us going when we feel like giving up. Even when Jesus was in that garden, he asked his disciples to pray. And every time he came back, he saw them sleeping. And he said, y'all can't even pray with me for a couple of hours. You need people around you that have your back, not people that run away when times get hard. So we have to be very careful as to the people that we let in around us, because we said before there's life and death in the tongue. And we said before that there's power in the words. So you have to be careful of the words of the people around you. Because some people might say, well, why are you trying that? You know, that's not you. That may not be the old me, but this is the new me that I'm trying to create based on God and based on my purpose. So sometimes you need to remove yourself from certain types of people because they see the old you and that's all they see. The new you hasn't been formed yet. And they're trying to hold you back because when you change, it makes them uncomfortable. So now they have to change or leave. And so sometimes people might say things to keep you in a box, but that box is the old you.
Wow. Dr. Howell, you have covered you have covered a full session in that. That's a teaching moment right there. That box is the old you. You're no longer sitting in that box.
Yes.
And as we close, Dr. Howell, I know we're right up on the 30 minutes mark. And you have covered much of it. We're talking about what strategies that can we take away or can we give to ensure that when we encounter failure, we come